Economics editor and co-author of the Breitbart Business Digest, and Steve Forbes, Forbes media chair and editor-in-chief and author of Inflation, What It Is, Why It's Bad, and How to Fix It. He knows something about that. John Carney, I'd say the first rate cut now comes in the middle of 2025.
It's never coming, Larry.
You and I have been good on this, okay? Yeah. We don't, all right, especially me. I don't get them right very often. You're better bet-ams than I do. But we've been saying no, 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 no. In fact, hold on. Here's someone who's got it wrong. We have President Biden on interest rates. Oh, this is lovely. You're both going to enjoy this. Here it comes. Biden on rates.
I do stand by my prediction that before the year is out, there'll be a rate cut. This may delay it a month or so. I'm not sure of that.
John Carney, you first.
So there's no way they cut in June. They're not cutting in July, Larry, which would push them off to September. No way they can cut in September. That would look very political. So then you're talking November, December. I don't think they cut this year at all. Earliest move may be March of next year, and that move may not be a cut, but a hike.
That's the thing. How does it put it? There's a non-zero probability that the next move will be a rate hike. Now, Steve Forbes, maybe the most famous and distinguished commodity price roll person in America. That's you. Commodities rising significantly last 3 months. Gold rising significantly last 3 months. Not only does that stuff bleed into the indexes, but it shows a weakness in the dollar, which I learned from Steve Forbes in his book is the ultimate inflation cause. There, right?
Yes. Rising prices are a symptom of inflation. It's not the cause. Weakening a currency is the cause. That's something the Fed can control without trashing the economy by raising interest rates, all this Philip curve stuff. So they're giving us unnecessary austerity, but at the same time, they've gummed up the credit markets. You're going to see mortgage rates start to go up again. So they should just back off and let the economy recover by itself and announce explicitly their goal is a stable value for the dollar. They will look at commodity prices, which are up 17% this year, as you pointed out. Gold soaring again. That's another red light flashing of trouble ahead. So they're setting up real monetary inflation for later this year and early next year. They announced they want a stable dollar and get rid of this Phillips curve stuff and the idea they can control the pace of the economy. I think you'd see a rally in bonds.
Yeah, but we've seen a sell-off in bonds, actually pretty much year to date.
Because the Fed doesn't know what it's doing.
That's right. Market rates have been drifting higher. The 10-year has been drifting higher. The 2-year break-even inflation forecasting tips has been drifting higher. I mean, last time I looked, it was up 80 basis points year to date. So, John Carney, this leaves, I don't put the politics aside for a minute. We're going to talk about that in the political panel. But this leaves the Fed economic geniuses once again at the short end of the stick. Because, right, they were priming us for rate cuts, and what's happened here? The story is the reverse.
They made a tremendous mistake. Remember, Larry, when they invented the number core services X housing, and that was supposed to persuade us that there was no inflation? Look, if you cut out all these things, core services X housing is up an annualized 8.5% in March. It is through the roof. Even their number that they invented to show that there really was not real inflation is now showing
3-month change. I mean to interrupt. 3-month change of that measure.
7.8.
8.2 at an annual rate.
Yep.
But the 12-month change is 4.8.
Right.
And this is supposed to be Jay Powell's favorite new core index, if you believe any of this.
That's right. So they made a tremendous mistake. They thought inflation was going away. They started promising they were going to get a rate cut. That in itself is a form of monetary easing, because when they tell the market, oh, hey, we're cutting rates, the market starts pricing that in. That was a mistake that has helped accelerate inflation again. They should have done it. They're going to regret it. It's going to be looked at as the Fed's second biggest mistake, because the first one was when they said inflation was transitory to begin with.
I mean, overall, 38 months of Joe Biden, the consumer price index level is up 19.4%. That's a very big number. That's 38 months, so that's 3 years plus. For all of Donald Trump's term, I call it the first term, prices only went up 7% in 4 years. Okay, that's about 1.3, 1.4 annualized. Biden's annual rate is 6.1. Steve Forbes, that's the highest since the mid-'80s, actually 1983. But in 1983, they were Reagan and Volcker were bringing inflation down from 15 to 2. This thing's just wobbling back up again.
Well, as Larry Summers, a Democrat, former Treasury
Yes.
Secretary, points out,
Yes.
if you put in the cost of interest, you do have to pay
There
interest
you
on
go.
mortgages. Height was not 9, it was 18%. The 3%, 4% they bandy around today is no more like 7 or 8. And given what's happening now, with mortgage rates going up, car payments going up, credit card payment interest rates going up, guess what? People have to pay that. That is a cost of living that the government ignores.
Thank you for reminding me. You know, Summers, that was an NBER, National Bureau of Economic Research piece of work with some other economists. So you're right. Thank you for that. John Carney, spot on. I'm just going to listen to you forever and ever. That's all there is to it. Folks, I got to jump out. I'm a little short of time, but thank you very much.